Hey, everybody.
Hello. My name is Caitlin Martin, and I'm a first-year student at Tuck and an incoming co-chair for the Tuck Food and Ag Club. Passionate about the food and ag space, and particularly solving problems around sustainability and accessibility.
I'm Catherine Bolas. I'm also a first-year student at Tuck and also one of the incoming co-chairs. I've been involved in planning the conference this year. I'm really interested in the intersection of sustainability and agriculture, and actually came to school looking to enter into the agriculture industry.
Hi, I'm Jillian DiFilippo. I'm also a first-year student here at Tuck and an incoming co-chair of the Food and Ag Club. I was in food before I came to school and really interested in continuing after, specifically interested in the intersection of the consumer food space and sustainability and circularity.
Great, and now we will recap some of the highlights from the past few days of our conference. So we kicked off the summit on day one with over 7 hours of content focusing on the future of food. We heard from over 30 change makers, including Dennis Woodside, president of Impossible Foods, Josh Tetrick, the co-founder and CEO of Eat Just, and Seth Goldman, the co-founder of Eat the Change. On day two, we heard from growers on their vision for the future. We touched on topics from indoor agriculture to seed genetics to renewable energy, and heard from Viraj Pooji, CEO of Gotham Greens, John Purcell from Unifold Bio, and Pat Gruber from Gevo. And finally, today, our speakers helped us paint a picture of the future of agriculture. We heard about how fintech, robotics, and analytics will fit into the future of the industry from some of the folks on the cutting edge of adopting these new technologies. We're also very proud to have raised over $2,000 through registration donations at this year's summit. To our audience members, thank you so much for your generous contributions. We're thrilled to be able to work with such an amazing local nonprofit, Susu Community Farm, a community farm in southern Vermont that creates life-affirming spaces where Black, Indigenous, people of color can thrive. We love that the summit can not only provide broad access to trends and issues in ag tech, but also has a dual purpose of benefiting important social causes.
And first of all, thank you to all of our audience members for having joined, but also thank you to all of our partners. Without these sponsors, we wouldn't have been possible. Cabot, Cargill, Calyx, Land Lakes, Robobank, and Silicon Valley Bank. And then, of course, our partners within Dartmouth and Tuck, including the Center for Private Equity and Venture Capital, and then the Food and Ag Club. We also want to thank all of our speakers throughout the ecosystem who different members of the team have managed to assemble for this. We've had across 3 sectors of the food and ag space, the investors, startups, and different industry leaders. All of these groups play a critical role in building better food systems for tomorrow. On the investor side, we've had representation from various venture capital firms, as well as venture arms of established companies. In the startup space, we've heard from over 40 startups with operations all over the world, 12 of which pitched in our first ever pitch competition. And finally, we've heard from various established industry leaders and corporations who are actively pulling their weight and resources behind changing the food and ag space as we know it, which segues into the next slide. Sorry about that. I want to thank all of our pitch judges and the participants. And of course, our inaugural VSAT pitch competition winner, Sfornato, and the audience favorite, Great Evil. Thank you, of course, to our judges, Brett Bull, Natalie Sierra, Mark Brooks, and Kelly James, as well as all of the fantastic participants in our semifinals. And I'll let Jillian close it out.
Thanks, Catherine. And we'd be remiss not to extend a huge thank you to our team from Tuck. First, we'd like to thank Jim Foy, the Executive Director of the Center for Private Equity and Venture Capital here, as well as Eileen I'Toole, the Assistant Director of Center Program Operations, for everything that they've really done in supporting us and making this event successful. And we'd like to thank this year's Tuck Food and Ag co-chairs. The second year students will be graduating: Elizabeth Holmes, Brandon Kuhn, Tobin, and Kristen and Robert. You guys have been amazing and have taught us so much, and we're endlessly grateful for everything you've done to make it a successful VSAT year. And then lastly, the rest of our student volunteers, without whom none of this would have been possible. We had over 20 people working on this conference, and it's really been a team effort. And just a note to the audience that all of our student volunteers are interested in the food and ag tech space, so please feel free to connect with us on LinkedIn. We would love to chat with you, and all of our contact information is found on the website for the conference. Next slide. Thanks. And if you'd like to stay engaged with the conference before we come back next year, there are a lot of opportunities through which you can do that. All of our sessions have been saved and are available for replay on Crowdcast. They'll be posted to YouTube also. So feel free to go back to any of the panels that you've missed or rewatch your favorite sessions and share them with your network. We also have a growing following on our social media channels, which we've shared here. So definitely feel free to give us a tweet or a shout. We'd love to hear from you before next year. So all in all, thank you so much to all of our audience for attending this year's virtual summit on ag tech. We're so grateful to have had you here in the audience, and we look forward to seeing you next year. And in the meantime, please do stay in touch and let us know if you'd like to be involved with next year's summit. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.